What is up, guys? Josh here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, today we've got a tough one. We're going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions from this previous season, the season where Arsenal finally won the league. But outside of that shout, I don't think I got much right at all. But I thought, why not? I put it on YouTube for the first year. I've been doing Premier League predictions, like pretty intense ones, for about 4 years now. 2021-2 season was the start. Me and my friends, writing it down, actually putting some stakes on our predictions. So yeah, I've had some really good years. I've had some bad years as well, and I think this one may fall into that category, but let's find out together. If you do enjoy the content on the channel, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. Honestly, all means so much. Thank you as always for the support on the latest videos. We've been getting like loads of numbers, which is incredible. And that's all down to you guys, so thank you. But I'm probably stalling because I'm nervous of watching the video back. But let's get into it. Starting out, 20th place, I have Burnley. And in 19th place, I've got Leeds United. Okay, wrong already. The Burnley shout was pretty predictable, to be honest. Everyone kind of knew they were going to go straight back down. The manager, Scott Parker, had never had real success in the Prem, and the squad had nowhere near enough quality. But that one isn't really a surprise. They ended up finishing 19th, not 20th. So I was one spot off on that. But then Leeds, I had Leeds to go down. I think a lot of people did, to be fair. I know for me, I did not believe in Daniel Farke at all. We will see later in the video when we do predictions. I had him as first manager to be sacked. So I think that's for me where it came from. But I believe that Sunderland will stay up. I believe Wolves will be relegated. I mean, that's a tremendous shout. Yeah. Where do we even begin with these two teams? Such polar opposites. Wolverhampton Wanderers finished 20th in the Premier League. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Even if you had Wolves 17, 18, that range. I don't think any of us thought they'd be worse than Burnley. And then Sunderland. I mean, wow. What a season. European football. Straight away. First season. Wow. Honestly, so impressive. Regis Lebris. I remember that game 2-2 Sunderland-Arsenal. I was watching the whole game. I was working on it as well. They were just excellent, and against the big sides all season they were excellent, and that was shown in their final day win over Chelsea to secure themselves European football at the hands of a team that has spent £2 billion. Wow. What a season. Granit Xhaka, in particular, stand out for signing of the season, in my opinion, and just a great story. I think everyone's going to be looking forward to watching more of Sunderland next season.
In 16th, I've got Brentford, and in 15th, I've got West Ham.
Right, so not a lot to say here in terms of Brentford. I was super wrong. To be fair, I genuinely think I had them higher than most people. I think most people had them 17th or 18th. I knew they wouldn't get relegated. That club is just way too well run in terms of player recruitment, in terms of coaching, to be as good as they were, especially with Igor Thiago up front. Yeah, great season for them. And West Ham, I really did not see this relegation coming. I thought they have a solid base of players, nothing spectacular, but solid enough to where they can stay in the league. Fernandes in midfield, Jared Bowen up top, Wan-Bissaka. But it just didn't click. They just kept on giving away games they really should have taken points from. And we sadly saw that at the end of the season against Brentford, for example, going away to Newcastle and losing in the manner they did. Yeah, it's a shame. West Ham no longer in the Premier League.
In 14th now, we have Fulham, followed by Everton in 13th place. And in 12th place, I've actually gone with Nottingham Forest.
So we have this lower mid-table cluster here where I predicted Fulham, Everton and Nottingham Forest. I got each of these teams one place out from where they finished. Nottingham Forest a couple, but yeah, I think this was kind of easy to predict. Probably disappointing if you're a Fulham fan. Not that, the season overall was bad. It wasn't, but just that you couldn't really push on. You had a really good start to the year. I think Everton, first year in a new stadium, was always going to be tough. And Nottingham Forest, after, doing so well last year, finishing European spots, I think everyone could see that European football would just, take a toll on them. And they only really climbed up that table in the last few months of the year. It was looking a bit shaky for a while there.
Now on to 11th place, we've got Crystal Palace. In 10th place, we've got Bournemouth. And in 9th place, we've got Brighton.
Okay, so now we're getting into top half of the table. I ended up predicting Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and Brighton for 11, 10, and 9. Brighton finished in 8th, not 9th, so I was one off there. Palace I was a bit high on, and Bournemouth, obviously, we'll get to them. Great season. But yeah, Crystal Palace, I think I didn't really account for the Europa Conference League, how they went on to win it, but in terms of the rotations and potentially coming back after a game in Europe to the Premier League might take a toll on them. Bournemouth, wow, I over predicted compared to a lot of people. A lot of people had them 15th, etc. And I still didn't put them high enough. What a season. Andoni Iraola. Just round of applause because, wow, the football they were playing, the terms of the Big Six, the games against the Big Six, they were excellent. Semenyo first half of the season, insane, got himself a move to Man City. And then they didn't miss a beat because Junior Krupi in the second half of the season exploded. Wow, just an amazing season. European football for Bournemouth. What more needs to be said?
In 8th, I've got Spurs. In 7th, I've got Newcastle. And in 6th, I've got Manchester United.
Oh no. I mean, let's get into it. I shouldn't be surprised that Tottenham are this bad. They've shown me with my own eyes that they're this bad for season after season now. And yet I'm still predicting them as if they're good. What am I doing? And yeah, De Zerbi come in and he managed to get the results they needed. Was helped out by West Ham not picking up as many points as they should have over those last 5 weeks. But yeah, Tottenham Hotspur, I will not be predicting them to get European football next season. Even if I think they will, at this point, I just need to protect myself and my predictions. Because one thing's for sure, you can always count on Tottenham to Spurs it up. It's just the truth. Newcastle, pretty bad prediction here. I had them 7th and they finished 12th. Yeah, I was very disappointed by Newcastle this season. I thought their style of play regressed, their actual quality in terms of the players they have. I was shocked by how bad some of their top players were performing. Joe Linton, I expected more from Tino Livramento. Goalkeeper, they kept on switching out through injury and, form, and nothing really was coherent in that season. I really thought they would do better than they did. Perhaps Champions League football and contending with that took it out of them. But yeah, I think a massive, massive summer for Newcastle. I think this could be Eddie Howe's, last chance almost. Manchester United, I had them 6th. They finished 3rd. And yeah, really, I think I would have been pretty accurate, if not even overestimating how good they are. If Amorim had stayed, obviously, start of the season, we don't know what's going to happen. Carrick came in, and to give him credit, he was excellent. That 3-2 win over Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, I can say is probably the only game all season, other than the Carabao Cup final, where we just got outplayed, and just credit to them.
So I will have Aston Villa in 5th place, and just missing out on the top 3, Chelsea.
I was just thinking, oh, I forgot I'd done Aston Villa pretty accurately, and then I see Chelsea right after. So in terms of Aston Villa, I had them 5th, they finished 4th, and yeah, I really did just think that no Champions League football, the quality of the squad, Unai Emery as well, they are really going to push on from last season, and they did, in comparison to Chelsea, who, yet again, disappointed. And I struggle with Chelsea because you spent so much money. You've got players who, undoubtedly, when I watch them, I think they are quality players, Cole Palmer should be that, hasn't been that. That's such a different conversation in itself as to why he's fallen off. But João Pedro, Esteval, Moises Caicedo, when he can play, which is like rarely, but Romeo Lavia, Reece James, they have really good players, and yet they just couldn't sync it up. And they obviously fired Enzo Maresca mid-season. Whether that was their decision really or his, we really aren't too sure about that. He's gone on to Manchester City. But I think next season with Xabi Alonso, I'd be shocked if they don't come top 5, like, truly. But it's Chelsea. and you really never know. Depends on the board and the ownership what direction they want to take the club. If they actually go out and buy some established, grown-up players, then I think they have a good chance of challenging in the Premier League, given all the turnover with the other clubs.
So we obviously have Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City left from last season's top three. Who will I have in this season's top three? Well, in third place, I've actually got Liverpool. My reasoning for this is I think Arsenal and Manchester City have a lot more settled squads and know exactly what they want to do every single time.
Well, finally, something I was incredibly bang on about. I did just think that Liverpool would not be able to go again because of the amount of turnover in their squad. You're replacing a left back, right back, striker, another striker, and a number 10. Those are key positions in the squad. Like, those aren't just plug and play positions for the type of football Arne Slot wanted to implement at Liverpool. And I think we all saw it just really crash down, especially around that November to December period, where I think they lost 12 out of 16 games or something like that, or maybe, well, without a win. But yeah, wow, that was such a bad season in terms of a Premier League title defence. And obviously, Arne Slot has now lost his job. He's being replaced by Andoni Iraola, who I think is an awesome manager, but work to be done for sure. Mo Salah leaving, Andy Robertson leaving, Konate leaving. At the moment, they've got Van Dijk, Jeremy Jacquet, and then Giovanni Leone as their centre back options. I mean, yeah, it's just not good enough. They're going to have to go again and invest. And does that mean they're going to have to sell a certain player or two to fund those moves? A Curtis Jones has been talked about a lot. Will they have to sell him? Potentially Cody Gakpo, etc. So they're going to be losing a few players, I think. And yeah, I don't really see Liverpool challenging next season as immediately as other people do. We will have to see. But I think last season was a sign that just because you win the league, you don't have to, go crazy. That's not to say do nothing, but the amount of turnover in their team, I think, really set them up for failure.
So that brings us to the final two teams Manchester City, multi time champions of England, one of the most dominant teams of the last 10 years, against my Gunners, Arsenal, who haven't won the Premier League since 2004. Thought long and hard about this. I'm only joking. Didn't take long to think about it at all. I've got Arsenal winning the league.
Well, there we have it. Ending on a correct prediction. Manchester City in second place, Arsenal in first place. And wow, it feels so good to say that. I have predicted Arsenal to win the league for the last 4 years. And wow, it would have killed me to come second again. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But wow, what a season for the Gunners. 1-0 to the Arsenal, set piece FC. Whatever you want to say about Arsenal, you have to also say Premier League champions. Mikel Arteta, what a season for him. Champions League final, Carabao Cup final, Premier League champions. Challenging on all four fronts into March. Great season, and I think Arsenal can only go up from here. They've got a great squad, they've got a great manager, settled all the monkeys off their back in terms of the trophy jokes and stuff like that. So wouldn't be shocked if Arsenal won the league again next year. From a non-biased standpoint, I think they're very much clearly the favourites, given all the turnover in the other teams. And yeah, just a bit on Man City as well. To be fair to them, Pep Guardiola, in his last Premier League season, as always, 2 trophies, done well in the Premier League right until the last couple of weeks of the season. What a manager, what an achievement that he has made in the Premier League. Probably the greatest manager of all time, solidified now. I don't really think you can argue with it. And yeah, happy to see him go, but so glad that my club could get one over on him on the way out. But yeah, I think Man City with Maresca next year may take a step back before they take a step forward. It's a natural cycle of a rebuild. And yeah, I think we are looking out for who from that Man City team is going to step up and really thrust this new era into life. Right, that was the table. We're going to get into some miscellaneous predictions, awards, random ones like manager of the season, etc. And I think I've done quite good on these, if I remember rightly. So let's take a look.
Starting with top scorer, I had this prediction last year. Just going with the same person again, I think Erling Haaland will be top scorer.
Well, I mean, we're not even going to spend a minute on this one. You don't get a prize for selecting Erling Haaland as your top scorer prediction. I think this one is pretty easy one. He ended with 27 goals, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's up there again next season.
I can see him getting 28 goals, and that might just be enough to win the Golden Boot. In terms of assists, I've actually went with Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes, top assists. I don't think it's like the roguest prediction, but I don't think a lot of people were saying that. So very happy with that one. He ended up obviously breaking Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne's assist record for a season. He finished with 21, although if you look back at the clip, was it an assist or should it have been an own goal and then counteract it? Anyway, obviously Bruno Fernandes, excellent season, was Premier League Player of the Year. And yeah, I think next season with a full year of Carrick, he'll be just as good, if not better, for Manchester United.
Clean sheets, I've predicted it 2 years in a row, and it's happened 2 years in a row. We're going to go with David Raya. I do think Arsenal have the best defence in the Premier League.
I mean, David Raya, Arsenal defence, it was the easiest bet you could have made at the start of the season.
Signing of the season, I spoke about him when I was talking about Arsenal. Not Victor Gyökeres, though. Gonna go with Martin Zubimendi.
Yeah, I think this one was kind of a homer pick, a bit of Arsenal bias in there. To be fair, I think until December, like end of December, this would have been 1 or 2 in terms of actually accuracy. I probably would say it's Granit Xhaka, if not João Pedro. I'm seeing a lot of Ray and Cherky love for this, and what a player, by the way, but didn't really do much before the start of 2026. So don't really think you can be signing of the season and not actually contribute a lot in the first half of the season. I think Xhaka, João Pedro, for sure, are my signings of the season.
Player of the season, I'm going Erling Haaland again. I think if he has another top scorer season, as well as a top 3 finish in the Prem to go with some assists, I can see him getting the award.
Yeah, it makes sense. I had him to be my top scorer, so why not make him player of the season as well? As we know, it was Bruno Fernandes. I think Declan Rice and Raya were probably ahead of Haaland as well, so I can't really claim any credit from that.
Young player of the season. This is a rogue shout, but hear me out. El Hadj Diouf, the new left back for West Ham United.
Oh, spectacular. Wow. Just wasn't, was he? Probably fell for the FPL hype, the Twitter hype around this guy. Saw crossing compilations of him and I was like, wow, what a delivery. And to be fair, what a delivery he's got, but nowhere near.
Following on from that, biggest underachievers, I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest. I have them outside the top 10.
Okay, biggest underachievers, Nottingham Forest. I think that's probably up there. I mean, obviously Tottenham take the cake, but Nottingham Forest, for what they were last year compared to what they were this year, I think that's a solid shout. I think they're probably the second biggest underachiever, maybe. So, unless you think West Ham, in which case, that's fair enough. But yeah, I don't think that's awfully wrong.
Biggest overachievers, I'm going to go with Bournemouth, simply because the way people are talking about them, they've lost their back line, they've lost players, and they don't have a deep enough squad. I think a lot of people might think that Bournemouth are going to finish 14th, 13th. I don't think so at all.
I think that's also correct. Biggest overachievers, Bournemouth. Challenging for Champions League right until the last week of the season. Wow, excellent stuff from Andoni Iraola, as we said earlier in the video. And I think they will be fine next season. Marco Rosa, great experience, great manager in Germany. And I think they've still got a core nucleus of players, Rayan, Krupi, even if Krupi left, Evan Nilsson's a serviceable Premier League striker, Ryan Christie in the midfield, but I think they've had an excellent season, for sure. But there we have it. Those were my Premier League predictions for the 2025-26 season. All in all, not the worst predictions, but did not do well. Didn't do as well as other years either. Compared to some of the other YouTubers that I watch and content creators, I will put that on screen in terms of my score and their score for the table. But yeah, I will be back next season, better, smarter, more ready to take on the challenge of predicting the Premier League, and who knows, maybe I might even get it right. But until then, thank you guys for watching the Premier League football content on the channel. I really do love making it, whether that's matchday vlogs, prediction videos, reactions. Thank you so much for tuning into all of it. I'm going to have some more in real life content coming over the summer, World Cup reactions potentially, depending on what happens out in America. And do stay tuned for the start of the next Premier League season. Obviously, I work on it as my job, but I love consuming it as well. As a viewer, I think it's the best league in the world, and hopefully Arsenal can go and win it again. But until next time, see ya.